What's going on, everybody? John Eric Poli here with My MMA News, and today's guest will be fighting Trevor Peek at UFC Vegas 70 on February 25th. Currently just getting done with practice at the UFC PI. Thanks for joining me here today, joined by Alex Reyes. Alex, I appreciate the time. Like I just said, you're getting done with practice, so squeezing this in, really appreciate it.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me on the show, man.
No problem at all, man. So let's dive right into everything here. I'm sure the fans are probably, I'm sure they realize out there, it's been a minute since you last competed. It's been 6 years. A lot has happened in that time. I don't want to try to say that didn't happen that time period. I'll let you explain it to everybody. I know you had a lot of different medical issues in that time span. Take us through these last 6 years and just what it's been like to get to this point here today.
It's been a process, you know what I mean? I ended up getting a stem cell injection in my spine in 2018, and the cells were contaminated with E. coli, a bunch of other bacteria. Ended up causing infection in my spine and put me out. It was really bad, man. I couldn't walk. Was told I need to change careers. Told that I was probably never going to walk again. And I beat it, you know what I mean? I beat it and was on IV antibiotics for some months. And, it's been a long process to get back to this point. But a lot of it has been therapy and strength training and honestly coaching, being in my gym, teaching my students, helping other fighters, being a part of the process. So my mind never left the sport. I've been in it every day for the past, 6 years. And I feel great, man. I'm lucky to be back. I'm blessed to be back and fortunate and excited to step back in there and continue my journey.
And when you were mentioning all that there, right, when you're saying that a lot of therapy, concerns about walking, you were pretty much told, like you said, you might want to pursue a different career path. At any point during that process, did you ever think to yourself, you might not ever fight again, that it was a real possibility, or did you always know in the back of your mind that you were going to overcome this and that you were indeed going to fight again one day?
Now, those things cross my mind, definitely for sure. When you can't walk and you physically can't do something anymore, it's very tough, mentally and physically. It's hard on my family, on my kids, as part of my wife, having to take care of me. Here I am, 30 years old and professional athlete, reduced to being, sponge bath. It was tough. It was very tough on her and myself and everyone around me. But we all got through it together. We had tons of support, and management believed in me, and other coaches and friends and fellow fighters believed in me, and stuck with it, stuck with the process, kept working my butt off, and finally here. You know what I mean? So it's definitely blessed, and definitely crossed my mind. But you know what? Also had the back of my mind. I wasn't gonna let this beat me. I wasn't gonna let this stop me. And it also gave me the fuel and energy to push through. So,
And I know there's, and I was gonna say, I know that there's still business that has to be taken care of here. You want to go out, you want to get a win, but I have to ask this question though. Given all of that, how much of it that you're here today in the PI training camp, getting ready for a fight? How much of that is a victory in itself that you're just here being able to do this once again?
Oh, it's a huge victory for sure. You know what I mean? To prove others wrong and even myself wrong. And it's a huge victory to be here. You know what I mean? But work's just begun. It's just started. You know what I mean? I'm back. I don't plan on going anywhere. I'm planning to continue fighting and continue where I left off in the sport. You know what I mean? I was on a good tear, good run. Took that fight with Mike Perry and stepped up, and it didn't go my way. And I plan on continuing my career and fighting in the lightweight division and going out there and putting on a show for the fans and enjoying what I do.
All right, so Alex, we just took a little breather here to get you back inside of the PI then, because we're having a few connection issues, so I appreciate you now moving back inside the building for me. Let's continue on here. This is your first training camp in obviously a long time. Is it like riding a bike for you? Like you never forget how to do it? Or was it a little different when you first got back into camp? Like, man, I'm intensifying workout here. This is a lot different than what I'm used to doing here.
Back on that bike, just like you said, man. Been fighting for years before this, you know what I mean? And like I said, I've been part of camps and helping people in camps. You know what I mean? So when it's my turn to be in the rotations, just like being on a bike, picking it back up. You know what I mean? So it feels great. It feels good to be putting in the hard work and developing and having the body respond well and everything come back together and click. So I feel great, man. Honestly,
And then with that
I
being,
wouldn't have taken this fight. Yeah.
I was going
Sorry,
to
go
say, with
ahead.
that being said, how is training camp going?
It's going really well, man. Everything's going smooth, working hard. And like I was saying earlier, I wouldn't have taken this fight if I didn't think my body could handle it. If it wasn't able to handle it, you know what I mean. So body's responding well. Everything's come together really well. Feeling great. So it's going good, man. It's a good feeling. All the hard work you're putting in and the progress that is being made and the growth that I'm having. Feel great, man. Especially being out here at the PI, they take care of you well.
And another thing that's interesting too with this training camp, besides for the fact that it's your first one in a meaningful period of time, if I'm not mistaken, you guys kind of had this fight date for a little while, I believe. So what's that kind of been like, having maybe a little bit of time, extra time, as opposed to some people literally get a fight on weeks' notice. Other obviously this one here, I mean, I feel like this has been booked, and it's got to be a good 2 months or so that we've known about it, right?
It's about 6 weeks.
Oh,
You know what I
been
mean?
that
We knew
long?
about
Okay,
the
I thought
fight.
it's been a little
Yeah.
longer. Okay.
Well, it was right at the end of, right before Christmas, right? So like didn't quite count Christmas week, holidays, people are out. So it's been about a good, 6 week camp. So it's definitely more notice than the Mike Perry fight, that's for sure, the 3-day notice I had. So it felt good, you know what I mean? It is awesome being able to have time to prepare for your opponent and prepare yourself. So definitely enjoying the little extra time that I have this time compared to last.
I say, I want to ask you about your opponent too. I don't know how much you know about Trevor. He actually has a great story too coming into the fight from off the Contender Series. He actually had a lot of problems with drugs and alcohol that he was over to come, and martial arts kind of got him on the straight and narrow. But nonetheless, I just want to get your thoughts just on him as an opponent, what you've kind of seen out of him, and what you really know about him coming into the fight.
Not too much, what footage he has out there. You know what I mean? Tough kid, comes forward, can take a shot. It's tough, gritty. You know what I mean? And looks to put on a show. All his wins are by finish, and so are mine. So expecting to go out there, both of us look to get a finish and put each other away. So hopefully we get some fight of the night honors. Hopefully we get a bonus in there. Put on a good show for the fans. So I'm looking forward to the tough fight and the task I have in front of me. But I'm also preparing for that. So feel good. I'm looking good, and looking forward to the tough opponent that I have in Trevor Peek.
All right, so my next question was going to be with ring rust. I'm going to change the question up just a little bit, because you actually opened with something that caught my attention, and we'll date this back to, I just did an interview recently with Eric Nixick, the head coach at Extreme Couture, and I was asking him about one of his athletes coming off of a layoff and what he kind of does to help prepare for ring rust, and he gave an answer that I never heard before, and he talked about how what he likes his athletes to do coming off of a layoff is, first thing to do if they're injured and they can't get in there and compete, but just come to the gym. Just mentally be there. Those mental reps are so important. You mentioned that kind of in the beginning about, even though you weren't able to compete, you were always involved with the sport. You were coaching, running the gym, those mental reps there. Just talk about that. Like, do you kind of agree, kind of what he was saying, that those mental reps kind of helped a lot with this journey? And I mean, I don't know, is ring rust a concern at all for you, or is it not? Or how much, is going on with that? Or is it more just that mental thing, do you think, is kind of going to be behind you because of how much you've been involved with it?
Definitely, I think it's a mental thing, and I think it's behind me because, like you said, like where I opened, uh, being in the gym every day, helping fighters, being in there, cornering, being in the fights, cornering Bobby Green in these last couple of UFC fights, so being there, being at the apex, walking to that octagon, being there ringside, preparing these guys for their fights and being a part of the camp. So for me, I don't feel that ring rust. I don't have that, that worry so much because I've been so involved. You know what I mean? It's like I never left. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll definitely agree with Coach Eric on that one for sure.
And while we're on this coaching topic, let's talk a little bit about you and your role as a coach here. You mentioned about Bobby Green, working with him. We'll get started with him. I know he has a fight coming up. Just how's he kind of looked recently, and your expectations for him on fight night?
Oh man, I'm excited for Bobby. As you know, as everyone knows, he's an exciting fighter. He goes out there and he puts on a show, man. And he's got hands, he's got it all. He puts it together really well, man. I'm excited for him in his fight. I expect him to see him do well. I'm gonna continue to help him prepare for his fight after I finish my fight, and he's helping me as well. So great friend, good teammate, good training partner. We're working together and pushing him. So yeah, predictions for Bobby. I see him winning his next fight. And like I said, being around the sport, being around the top level guys in the sport, working with him consistently daily, and a few other training partners, newer partners that I've picked up out here in Vegas. I feel great. I feel ready. I know we still got a couple weeks left, but I'm ready to get in there.
All right, so I want to ask you too about just over these last 6 years where you've been out and coaching. Obviously, coaching essentially pretty much became your main focus because you were sidelined with the injury. How much did you really enjoy that time of being able to coach? I know obviously a little upsetting that you weren't out there competing, but I mean, coaching, it can be a fun thing to do as well.
No, it's an awesome thing to do. You know what? Because I enjoy helping others and seeing their success and seeing their growth and helping them in the areas that they need to help in, and just being a part of the process. I love the sport. I love mixed martial arts. I love growing, developing, whether I'm helping someone else or I'm growing myself and pushing myself to the next level. Um, you got to enjoy what you love. You got to enjoy what you do. And I love what I do. You know what I mean? Which is being part of the sport and all aspects, coaching, my students, my friends, and, giving back as much as I can. So definitely enjoy it.
And the grind of coaching is something too, and it's funny, right? I could see why, like growing up, you would see it all the time, where a lot of times an athlete wouldn't make the best coach, and you'd wonder why. Well, I know I could at least relate, like I did track when I was in college, and then coached for a little while after college, and coaching is a completely different game than it is as to being the athlete. I mean, you're studying film for other people. You have to learn how to communicate with people. And maybe the way athlete A is motivated is different than the way athlete B is. The things you could say to this guy, you can't say to that one. Completely different game. Just how have you mastered this whole process of coaching and dealing with different people and putting these people in the best positions to succeed, and that these people want you in their corner and they want to go to war with you and they want you to be involved with everything?
Well, it's not so much about changing an athlete and what they have. It's about building off of them and their attributes, whether it's their God-given talents, range, quickness, speed, power, wherever it may be. It's about building off of what they already have and helping them, use their attributes into their favor. So everyone's different. Every athlete's different. Everyone has different, personalities and attitudes. You know what I mean? So working with others, I work well with others, and like I said, I enjoy training these people. I enjoy, breaking down film of their opponents, seeing their tendencies and their missteps, and where you can capitalize. So I'm a student of the game, and I enjoy studying the film, and I enjoy putting together these game plans for my friends and teammates and training partners, and helping any way I can. And it's an awesome process, man. So that's how I've adapted to it. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time and been training fighters and athletes, and understanding inside and out. I enjoy learning and enjoy applying my knowledge. So if that answers your question, sorry, my friend. I lost you
No,
there.
you're good, man. That answers plenty there, and I appreciate you discussing that there. One last coaching question for you. I know we talked about Bobby earlier on. Just talk about maybe some other athletes that are on, like maybe the up and coming that people don't know at the moment, but they're going to know very soon that you're currently training and working with.
Yeah, I got two guys, man. They're studs. I got Michael Santiago's coming up. He's an amateur fighter under me. He's 3-0 right now, and I have another fighter, Dylan Morales, been with me for a long time. He is 2-1 right now, coming off his last victory. And I have another guy coming up, Jeremy Barrett. He's 1-0. So a couple amateur fighters I've been training. They've been training with me for many years. That's about it right now. I don't have any other pro fighters right now on my roster, because I try to keep my roster small and my team small right now as far as fighters I'm building, because I'm focusing on myself and getting back in there right now. When I'm completely done fighting, then I'll definitely look to have a full stable and build my team a lot bigger than what it is. But right now I'm just putting all my energy into the few guys who've been with me this whole journey. They've been with me for, 11 years, 12 years. So help them grow into the sport. It's amazing, and seeing their growth and their success. So you'll be seeing them going pro here shortly soon, and hopefully making waves in this MMA community and growing and having fun in the sport as well.
All right, Alex, a lot of great stuff today. Really appreciate the time. Last thing before you head out, go ahead and plug your social media so people know where to follow you at. You have any management or sponsorships or anything like that that you got to plug? Take it away. Floor is yours.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram at Executioner155. And I just want to say thank you to my management, Premium Sports, Jason House, taking care of me. Thank you to Sean Shelby for keeping me on roster and giving me this opportunity to get back in there and do what I love, man. Thank you guys so much. Sponsor of mine, Pharma Extracts. It's a CBD product, one of the best products I've ever used. And they've been taking care of me for, honestly, this whole time through my whole injury, that I started using their product and I stopped using all the medication they were giving me at the hospital. So I believe in that product a lot, and check them out, Pharma Extracts. And on that, thank you to my family, my friends, everyone that supports me and who believes in me. And I can't wait to get in there and put on a show for you all.